It began in chains. The air was hot, oppressive, and the sting of betrayal ran deeper than any whip on my back. My brothers, my own blood, sold me for silver, turning their faces from me as though I were less than a man. I spent days trying to understand why, trying to grasp what crime I had committed to deserve such cruelty. Had my dreams angered them so deeply? Had my father's affection made me a target for their jealousy? These questions haunted me in my sleepless nights as a slave in Potiphar's house. Still, I refused to let my bitterness define me. I worked with diligence, pouring myself into every task, no matter how small. My faith became my anchor, a reminder that the chains on my wrists could not shackle my spirit. I climbed slowly from the pits of servitude, gaining favor in Potiphar's household. But just as I began to think I could breathe again, a new betrayal struck. Falsely accused and thrown into prison, I felt the weight of injustice suffocate me once more. The prison walls were cold and barren, but they taught me patience. Amid the darkness, I found light in the dreams of others, the baker, the cupbearer, and I learned that my gift, the ability to interpret visions, was not mine alone. It was a divine power entrusted to me, meant to serve a greater purpose. When Pharaoh's summons came, I did not hesitate. Standing before him, I felt the gravity of the moment. Failure was not an option. I spoke the interpretation with confidence, though my heart trembled within me. When Pharaoh appointed me his second in command, I was overwhelmed. The gilded robes felt alien on my skin, and the golden chain around my neck carried more weight than I had imagined. Though I now walked the halls of power, surrounded by splendor, I was still the boy who had been cast into a pit by his brothers. Still, the power could corrupt. It could make even the most righteous man forget where he came from. I swore I would not let it define me. In my work to prepare Egypt for the famine, I often reflected on the pain I carried, the longing for the family I had lost. I wondered if my brothers ever thought of me, if they regretted what they had done. My father's face, lined with grief in my memories, was a constant reminder of the life I had been ripped away from. I prayed for them, even as the resentment threatened to creep into my heart. The day my brothers stood before me in the palace was a whirlwind of emotion. I recognized them immediately, though they did not know me. Seeing them bow, pleading for food, stirred a mix of fury and sorrow within me. I could have unleashed my anger, made them feel the pain they had inflicted upon me, but something deeper held me back. Power gave me the chance to punish them, but humility demanded forgiveness. Revealing my identity was the hardest thing I had ever done. As I spoke, my voice broke, and tears streamed down my face. Their shock was palpable, their guilt written in their eyes. Yet as they wept, I realized my burden was lifting. Forgiveness was not just for them, it was for me too. In reconciling with my brothers, I found the closure I had been searching for. As I stood before Pharaoh and presented my family to him, I understood that my rise to power was never about me. It was about saving lives, saving Egypt, saving my family, and fulfilling a purpose greater than myself. Balancing the weight of authority with the call for humility became my daily task. I ruled not with pride, but with gratitude, knowing my position was a gift, not a right. Through it all, I learned that my trials were never meant to break me, they were meant to shape me. And in the end, I found peace not in the palace, but in the reunion with the family I had thought lost forever. My journey was one of pain, perseverance, and redemption. But above all, it was a testament to the truth that even in the darkest pit there is light. You need only to hold on to it.